Oh, yes, face. Hello.
Hi, baby.
Yes, we like that face. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I am feeling awesome, 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 awesome. So, look, hold on. We got it together. Are we ready?
I had to wait till I get my whole life together to get on. Get on.
I wish I could tell y'all the fact that we really waited for this interview. I hope y'all appreciate this conversation today because I asked Miss Bianca to come on so long ago, and she was like, "No, I got to get all my everything."
Baby, that was what COVID just hit me. His eyebrows and his hair was not together. You cannot have me on camera talking to these people looking like a chia pet. No, ma'am.
But we made it, y'all. We made it, and we are here, and I am so happy. So we're gonna do our little housekeeping introduction to start off with. So, hello, I am Connie S. Falls, the S is for Systems. I am a business development consultant here in Atlanta. For the last 13 years, I've been helping creative entrepreneurs create systems for their businesses. What are systems, Connie? Those are your operations, your policies, processes, procedures, all of the back end stuff that you act like you don't care about, but it's the only way you're going to be able to grow and scale your company. I decided to create Business of BS because I figured I have a great circle of amazing people in my friendship portfolio, and I am blessed to be able to have that access. And I wanted to make sure that everybody had access to have these dope conversations and really find out what the journey was for us entrepreneurs. The things that we see these days on Instagram, it looks beautiful and pretty, but you don't know the backstory and how everybody got to where they are. So sometimes the BS stands for business strategies. Sometimes it stands for that regular BS that comes along with being an entrepreneur. So today, we have our amazing, beautiful, flawless guest on today, Miss Bianca Robinson. Get some hearts of love. And we are going to have an amazing conversation, and we're just going to talk about the journey, and then she's going to give you some tips because I know that's what y'all are here for. So, Miss Bianca, if you would please introduce yourself and tell us about who you are.
So thank you for having me. I really appreciate you working with my schedule and, all of that. I appreciate it. I'm Bianca Robinson. I am a global project manager, and so I'm in the business of aligning strategic opportunities for my clients that will produce profitable results by working on their business infrastructure. I believe that if you have the right processes in your business, your productivity will increases. But when processes and productivity meet, profit increases as well. And so I teach consultants how to be better consultants. I teach them how to develop 7 streams of income within their business so that they can increase their influence, their impact, and their income.
Come on, God. Yes, you better be teaching them how to make these 7 figures. So we like to start here on Business of BS from the beginning. Tell me a little bit about who you were and how you were raised. Like, where were you? Like, what was the high school journey looking like for you? What's the beginning story of Bianca?
I've always been the chosen one out of my family. My mom, she had me when she was 18, and so she started her job 3 months into when I was 3 months old, and so she worked that job till I was like 13, and then she worked another job, but she never really had that flexibility to take off work and kind of to do the things that other moms did. And so I always say when I started my business that I wanted to a mother and not a woman with kids. And so people get really defensive and really, mad when I say it. But if you're working 18 hours a day, two jobs and going to school, like, when are you really raising, your kid? And so my mom was a great mom. I always had the best of everything, but it was that time commitment that wasn't there. And so it was always my grandma that was going to my spelling bees and my field trips and my gymnastics and my cheerleading meet. It wasn't my mom. And so she was there from a financial standpoint, but, not during the day to day. And so I just decided that I wanted to become an entrepreneur and have my kids, and I wanted to be a mom and have my own money too. And so that's kind of what started kind of the entrepreneur journey of I wanted to be a mom and I want to have my own money too. And so it kind of started off from that way, from an entrepreneur standpoint. But I've always been getting straight A's since preschool. And so I was the one that was supposed to go to school and get the good grades and get the good job. And I did that. And then I quit. And then my mom was the one that gave me the money to actually start my business 8 years ago. My bank account was negative $900 and something, and I borrowed $100 from my mom to actually start my consulting business. So it was her $100 that actually started this business 8 years ago.
Come on, God, you better have you a testimony, girl. So let's talk about, because I think it's important to the thought process of knowing early on, like, yo, I appreciate the fact that she's working this hard to make sure that she's able to provide for me. But yo, I need time. I need some time too. When did that click for you growing up, where you were like, man, it's cool, I got these new shoes and my cheerleading outfit is always freshly pressed, but I really want that time? Where do you think that clicked?
I think it was for those people that had a two-parent household. Like when you see, like, it's the mom can usually come because they're married, and so the dad goes to work most of the time, and so the mom is able to come. And so we never had that kind of two-parent household that most people have. And so even if it was a two-parent household of the mom and the grandma living together or the friends living together, like it was just two adults in the house that gave that flexibility to be able to do other things. And so I never had that. And so it was kind of like in the third grade when my mom came to my play, but she had missed my part. And she was like, but I made it. And I was like, yeah, but you missed me. You know, I was the first one. Like you kind of, you know, and it was because she was like, well, you know, you got on the best outfit, your hair's done, like you got this, you got this, you got that, like, what's the problem? And so I was like, but I want to kind of be there. But then it's kind of selfish, like, do I want to be the bummy, smelly kid at school that don't have it, or do I want to be the fly kid and my grandma come? So it's kind of that toss in the middle. But I knew that we had money because I never went without, and I always had what I wanted over and above. But it was that time that I didn't know that I was missing. And so I got like an adult, like really, to when people talk about their mom and how she was always there. And I'm like, oh, my mama paid for that, girl. I went, but she ain't go.
She wasn't there, but I definitely I was there.
Yeah.
So being able to, I want to note that is an amazing testimony, because I have one that's similar when it comes to my daughter. But that time thing is crazy. You don't realize, especially as a mom. I was in that space where it was like I was the mom that was at all the events and everything, but when my daughter came home, I had my laptop and my phone like a crazy person. And we're creating these businesses and creating the processes and everything so that way we don't have to do that. So I appreciate that testimony, because that it's similar to mine as well. So now let's move forward and talk about, okay, great, we're in high school, we have good grades, we're transitioning out. Were you like, I'm going to college and I can't wait?
Yeah. So, girl, okay, so my senior year, I moved out and moved in with my boyfriend, and I was like, I'm going to school and I'm gonna be with him, and we gonna do it. But life happened. Like my senior year of high school, that January, I found that I had cervical cancer. I then found out that my brother, we were extremely close, but he was my stepbrother. We were like maybe 3 months apart. He committed suicide. So me wanting to go away to school, because I didn't apply to any schools. I live in Illinois. I didn't apply to any Chicago schools. I was going away. Like I was leaving. But life kind of happened, and I had to kind of reposition it because my brother ended up leaving me his custody of his baby. Oh, so yeah, my brother had committed suicide, and then I found out I had cervical cancer, and I got a baby all in the same month. All of January 2006, it was just lit. Like it all kind of just fell into my lap. And so I ended up having to figure out a school here. And so I didn't apply to any schools here, but it was one school that I liked, and it was like maybe an hour away, but it was like a real Christian school. Like you couldn't wear pants after 5 o'clock. Your boys couldn't come in your room. It was just a lot of rules. But they were able to give me a full ride scholarship. And so I ended up kind of going to that school. And so I went to that school. And my major was journalism and Spanish. I wanted to be a translator. I wanted to travel all around the world and just translate. So I was going to go to school for Spanish, Mandarin, and Russian. And so I just wanted to be a translator. Where
did that come from, by the way? Where in your mind were you like, I'm going to be a translator?
So my high school English teacher, he had this bomb girlfriend, and she was so pretty, and she was like 24, 25. She had a nice car, nice condo, and she came to talk to us, and I was like, well, what do you do? She was like, I talk. And I was like, right, what does that mean? She was like, oh, I speak Mandarin, Russian, French, all that stuff. She was like, I went to college to learn that, and I just travel all around. I just got here from Russia today. We're about to go to Japan later. I was like, oh, that sounds like that's something that I want to do. I like to talk. I want to do that too. So that was kind of what what I wanted to do. And I was really good at writing too. And so in my mind, I was going to be a translator with my own column. And I was just going to write and travel and just be the rich auntie all around the world on jets and yachts and stuff.
Hold on. Let me put my rich auntie glasses on. This is going to be you.
I was going to be her. Like, that was going to be me. That was my plan, to be the rich auntie. So yeah, that was my goal. But then my mom was like, you could take up that little trade someplace else. I didn't put all of this for you to go to school, for you to speak in all these different languages and learn how to write. Like, that could be a blog, that could be a hobby, but you need to go to school for something else. And so I was like, well, yeah, you're right. So I transitioned into business with a concentration in strategic management. So that's what my undergrad is in.
So in your one, I think it's an amazing testament to the impact of conversations and opening your mind when you're young. Just imagine, had he never had that girlfriend, you never met her, your path would have been totally different starting off.
Yes, because I didn't know what I wanted to do at first. I was smart. I just didn't know what I wanted to do. And so I wanted to be HR, and then I wanted to be a vet, and then I wanted to be a lawyer, and then I wanted to be. She came into the classroom, baby. I said, I want to be her. What you do? Who? And she was very bubbly and very open, and I kind of gravitated to her. And she was like, well, give me a call. I called her that same day, like, can I shadow you? Like, what you need me to do? So she had me like doing her administrative assistant stuff in the summertime. Like, we were really close, and I was in school asking her questions. We got really close, like, just from that one interaction, because she came to school just flat, and I was like, oh, I want her.
So, hey, y'all, when you get those invites to go and talk at these career fairs at these kids' schools, yes, I need you to go. I know you don't want to, even if you don't have children. If you see in your area that there's an elementary school, you find out when their career day is, because you never know the impact that you're going to have on somebody. That literally, if your mom would have been like, bet, that's great, your whole life could have been totally different.
He was like, no, I didn't work all these jobs to do all the work for you to be speaking these languages. You could get an app or to do something for that. But I'm glad that she gave me that pivot early on, because it's definitely why I am in the position I am in today. I wouldn't be in the position I am now. Speaking 3 languages would be great. It would definitely diversify it, but I wouldn't have the knowledge and experience and have met the people I met from changing my major.
So in college, you were like, yo, business is cool. Was there a teacher that influenced you? Who influenced you while you were in school that was like, bet?
Yes, but it wasn't my business professor. It was my interpersonal communication professor that really gave me the people skills. Like, you can be the smartest person in the world, but how do you interact? How do you project? How do you walk into a room? Like, what does that body language look like? Like, how do you say something without it being said? Like, how do you command that respect? Like, it was that class that always stuck with me. And I think that class is the reason why I have, clients all over the world. And I'm able to travel and do the things that I have strictly from that one class that I had. That one quarter was my favorite class. And I get that question a lot. And it's because of this old little white lady that saw something in me to, sit up, speak direct, look a person in the eye when you talking. Like, you do something with your hands. Why is your hands behind your back? Your hands is the dialogue. Like, it was her that kind of saw something in me that sparked that. So that was my favorite class.
And again, I think that's imperative, because you need to start looking at the people that are around you, that are teaching you, that you're learning from, that you're feeling like you're pulling something from. Had she not had that class, again, imagine the direction that you would go. All of these pieces together, which is why I love, hearing the story, because from the beginning, you had an influence from your mother to your grandmother to your teachers to the girlfriend that came into the class, a little white lady that was, all of those things made a peak to, added to the piece of who you are as a whole. Mm-hmm. So now you're in college and you're like, okay, this is dope. Little white lady that told me to stand up. I'm feeling good about myself out here in these streets. When you left, were you like, I am going to go start a business immediately?
So kind of, that year, I only went to this Christian school for a year because they had too many rules. Like, you can't tell me what to do. I could do what I want to do at my mama's house. I'm not going to be here with these rules. So I ended up leaving the school, going to a different school. And then I got a dog. And so I needed a dog walker, and it was no dog walkers in my area. And I lived in a predominantly dog. Everybody had a dog. So I was like, I'm gonna walk these dogs. So I started a dog walking business at 19, which was Royal Dog Walk. So I started to walk dogs. And that summer, I worked for 3 months and I made $5,000 in 3 months from walking dogs. So I was like, oh,
What?
I this I liked. I liked that. So I started doing that, but I wasn't clear, right? I knew that I wanted to walk small dogs, but I wasn't clear about that in my marketing or my approach because I was getting big ass Doberman Pinschers and Rottweilers and German Shepherds to walk, and I'm like, I want little toy poodles like mine. So I wasn't clear on my market. I wasn't clear on my pricing. You know, I wasn't clear on my time frame. I wasn't clear on my upsells, cross sales. I wasn't clear on that. I just knew I had a leash, I had some flyers, and I made $5,000 that summer. But I couldn't keep up with the flow of things. And so I had only did it that summer. But that's kind of when the entrepreneurial journey kind of had struck. Like, oh, I'm pretty good at this. Like, oh, let me come back to this. But dog walking was my first business that I had at 19.
What?
Yeah.
Walking the dog. I'm gonna walk these dogs so we can live. In effect, with thousands. Come on, dog walking. Yes.
Dogs. Yes. Me and my.
So again, this is all a part of our journey. Come on now, to teaching people how to make 6 figures from walking dogs.
Walking dogs, baby.
Yeah. So don't feel like whatever, everybody has businesses that we start with, that whether they fail or they do great, but we all start somewhere. And if you can go from walking dogs to 7 figures, come on, God. All right, so let's go ahead.
And so then I started that. Then I went to school. Then I graduated. Then I got a job. So I was a professional temper. My last day at school, right before I graduated undergrad, it was a temp agency that came in and they were like, you know, what do you plan to do? I'm like, I don't really know. And they was like, well, how would you like to not work weekends? How would you like getting paid every week? How would you like to work all of these different areas and industries in a short amount of time to build up your resume? I was like, well, I'm gonna be an entrepreneur. I just don't know what I want to do. And it was like, this will help you in your entrepreneur journey. And so I was like, sign me up. So I was a professional temper, like from like 20 to 25. Like I worked everywhere: hospitality, tech, NASA, HR. I worked a lot of different places, but it was always in upper management. And so I was either the HR assistant, or I was the executive manager, or something like that. It was always in top management. And so I learned a lot of different things from working in places every 2 to 3 months, different times. And so I didn't know that was building me up too, to be able to be in these different industries and these different circles. Most people be like, oh, you're so inconsistent. Like, you don't have no career. I'm like, I do have a career. I'm always going to have a job. It might not be here with them for these 6 months, but they're going to find me someplace to go. And so I've never wanted the 21st floor with the corner office and working for somebody. I've never wanted a career. I've always wanted a job so that I can use those stepping stones to use in whatever business I was going to find. I never wanted to be somebody's. So that's kind of what I learned early on. I like not putting in my vacation for in January to tell them about December. You know what I'm saying? I like being able to take off when I want to. Like I kind of like that fast, quick money type of lifestyle. And so I did that for my entire professional career as working for somebody. So I probably had about 40 jobs because I've worked in so many different places over those 5 years.
So tell me about the importance of those different jobs, because there are so many people that are in, they have 9 to 5s, they're working, they're like, oh my God, I'm stuck. But you spent 5 years dedicated to working for other people. And let's talk about some of those skills, because most people don't realize that those skills that you're learning in your corporate job and your 9 to 5, that's transferable into this entrepreneur life. So tell me about some of those jobs you had that you were able to transfer.
I learned that in being a temper, because after you finish it, they're going to help you put this on your resume so you can go get more money. And so we learned that very on, like, what you learn here. I'm like, well, I think I want this position. Okay, well, you need to work here first so you get this on your resume, and then we'll pitch you for this position. And so it was very clear that I was a professional check chaser, and they knew that. And so I was looking at jobs that paid $50, $60 an hour. And they're like, you at this 21, but I need you to learn these skill sets so I can position you. And then you can get a reference from here. So then I could kind of position you from here. So it was definitely a blessing for me to know early on that I just want this check. I don't want to be nobody's. put me in the direction of the highest bidder, and that's where I was gonna go. And they was with it too, like, okay, do good for them, get that on your resume, you know, and then let me pitch you to someplace else. And so I think that's why I'm really good at pitching myself too, and working with all these different corporations, because I was pitched for 5 years, every 3 or 4 months, you know, putting on my resume. I think that's why I'm good at like pitching and writing proposals and things of that nature too, because I work directly, you know, with them so that they can pitch me to someplace else. I learned how to negotiate the salary early on. I learned what my non-negotiables were and what I wasn't taking and what was beneath me to do based on my skill set and what I wasn't going back to. Like, I learned that from being, most people think it's inconsistent and you're being bounced around, but people was getting laid off here and there, and I was always employed. Like, always. I've always been employed, and I've always made more money than the people that really worked at these companies, because as a temp, they don't pay you insurance and things of that nature. And so my base pay was my base pay. So you might have got paid $25 an hour with benefits and things of that nature. I got paid $33, and I don't have no benefits, and I don't have none of that. So I've always got paid more than the person that's usually working in those positions. And I moved up faster too, because you've been in that position for 10 years. I've been there for 6 months, moved to something else, came back, did something else, and now I'm in a better position than you. I don't work here as an employee, but I'm contracted in. And so I learned a lot from working in those arenas.
So do not be afraid of taking what you learned in these 9-to-5s. Look at how she's able to apply them and move up and move up. And don't feel like you have to stay. Like, back in the day, the days of loyalty where you had to stay with the company and you were going to retire with them after 150 years of work. What are your thoughts about that?
Them jobs are no longer here. And you're no longer there either. And that stagnates your growth. And then it's somebody like me, young and tender, that's coming, and you've been here for 20 years, and now I'm coming to tell you, I need you to do this. And you like, you don't really work here. I know, but I'm here for 6 months. So can we get this together? And so I deal with a lot of that too. You know, people that have been, you know, stagnant in a position that was supposed to be for a couple months, but now they got complacent and they like the schedule and it fits. And, you know, they've kind of dimmed their own light. But me, fresh, young, and tender, coming in like, okay, this is what we're going to do. They're like, girl, if you don't sit down somewhere up, no worries, ma'am. So it kind of helps me too to kind of break those barriers, because I've always been the youngest person in most of these positions too, because Debbie on maternity leave for 3 months. So I'm Debbie, you know, for those 3 months. Well, Debbie is the boss. So I'm in Debbie role, you know, and so it kind of happened like that. But now, instead of me being a regular assistant, you know, I'm the executive assistant to the president, because that's Debbie's job. And so I'm in Debbie role. So now that's on my resume that I was the executive assistant for 6 months, and it's a contractor position. And so companies respect contractors. They know that you learn a specific skill set too. You weren't there learning a whole bunch of stuff. You learned this one specific skill set. So it kind of helped you move up that corporate ladder too.
I hope y'all learning something. Okay, so let's start transitioning. Now you've worked, you've been everywhere in the mama house, right? So we spent 5 years doing that. When you were like, okay, I'm ready. What was that moment?
Okay, so I ended up working for this company. It was a Black company, and loved the company. And this was the first company that I was like, you know what, I really want to work at this company. I don't want to be a temp anymore. I've learned enough. Like, I want to put roots here. That was like the company. And so it was a Black owned company. He was like a well-spoken man. He was just amazing. And so he was like, you know, my company is about to go bankrupt in a year. That's where we are. He was like, but I'm willing to train you and instill everything in you that I know, so we can figure out if we can save this company. Love that transparency. I was for it. I'm used to being a temp anyway, so let's work. So it kind of worked out. And so he taught me almost everything that I knew. I didn't know I wanted to be a project manager until I got with this company. I didn't know that I wanted to do government contracts and procurement, and I wanted to walk into these different rooms until I met this particular man. Like, my first day, he sat me in a corner, and it was a book of like 800 pages, and he was like, just read this book in the corner. I was like, I am overqualified to be reading this damn book. Corner. Do you know? You don't know who you... I sat in that corner and I read that book, and then the next day he put me in the corner. I sat in the corner for a whole week reading this book. And so I'm like, I don't want to be here. Like, it's not interesting. Nothing is happening. That Monday we went to a meeting, and he was like, so Bianca's in charge of the meeting, and just kind of threw me in there. But it was all based on what I read in this book. So I got in there and I killed it. And I closed a contract strictly from reading this book, because that was all I was doing anyway, was reading the book. So I knew the verbiage and I knew the lingo. He was like, you're in charge of contract compliance. I was like, oh, okay. I like to read. I'm good at reading. So that's what I started to do. And so little by little, he was building me. And he was like, well, you know, I was the project assistant to the main project manager. And he was like, you know, you can get paid a lot more money if you would just go to school for project management and stop being my assistant. Okay, no worries. I went to school and got a master's in project management. Like,
oh, okay, bet.
Sounds like that's something we want to do. So I started to make more money, but not as much. He didn't hold up his end of the bargain. We saved the company. He went from a little Honda to a Benz. His wife went from working at a job to now she quit. She moved in. My pay was still the same, though. I was supposed to get 10% of everything that contract I brought in. I didn't get my 10%. I didn't get my money. But he made me value flexibility. Like, I didn't have to be in the office to do the work. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could go out of town and still do the work. He trusted me enough to Bianca's in charge. Like, he sat back and he let me do it. And so it was a lot of perks with the job where money wasn't a problem. But then I got pregnant and I'm about to have a baby. Money is very important right now. I need all my coins. And so when I went to ask for a raise, I'm not just asking for a raise. I'm coming with reference letters, endorsements, referrals. Where were we when we first got started? How have I overexceeded your expectation? All the money I brought into the business. Like, I'm very clear. I asked for a raise 3 times, like, and he didn't give me a raise. So then that last time, I was like, well, I just want to let you know that I have another company, you know what I'm saying, my old company that want me back. And so this time he was like, I'm going to think about it. Give me the weekend. He never said he was going to think about it. So I'm like, oh, I'm about to get this money. Baby, on Monday, he was like, I love you and appreciate all you done for me. We don't have the money. But I was doing bookkeeping, taking checks to the bank, winning contracts. You can't tell a person that do the money you don't have the money. Like, your whole lifestyle and upgraded in this whole year that I've been here. And so I gave a 5-week notice. I don't know no fucking body that gave a 5-week notice. But I gave a long time notice because I didn't have a job. I was looking for a job. But the backstory to that was I started to do career development on the side. So I was doing my friends' resumes and things of that nature. So I used to interview on my lunch just so that I can give them the interview questions that's going on in the interview, so that when I did it, I was getting job offers on my lunch break, but I wasn't even looking for a job. But when I put in that 5-week notice, it was crickets. I didn't get nobody. I didn't get an interview, an offer. I didn't get anything. So that last day, like, he took me to lunch, him and his wife, and I was thinking that they were going to be like, yes, stay. They gave me a $300 check in addition to my paycheck and was like, goodbye. So
$300?
300, a whole 3. And they took out taxes too. So I was like,
look, I'm gonna just head out.
Yeah. So,
and they took out taxes? The shade.
So I had a meeting with my husband and I was like, you know, I really don't want to go back to work. I really want to try this entrepreneur thing, because I was working on a really big bookkeeping contract. I was like, in 9 out of 10 businesses that you walk into, they need bookkeeping. So I was like, I'm going to start a bookkeeping business. And he was like, okay, I could take care of these bills for a year, but all the fancy stuff that Bianca like, you're going to have to pay for that on your own. But our livelihood, I got you. So I was like, oh, okay. Well, we had that conversation on a Friday. On that Monday, we found out he needed emergency brain surgery. So he was off work 9 months, no pay. So my little hair money, my little nail money, my little clothes money, it had to pay a real fucking mortgage, a car note, his car note, just all of it. So my little business that I didn't have the time to kind of figure it out. It was like, you got to kind of sink or swim. My baby was 3 months. We had just got a new house. I got a new car. And that was just kind of a really rough transition of a time, because I'm thinking I'm going to make a little couple $100 a month. I had to pay a $1,500 mortgage, a $500 car note. His car note was $500. So it was just kind of sinking. So our house was almost taken. It was in foreclosure. My car almost got repossessed. It was just a rough 9 months of hell. But I really needed that to figure out that I could do this shit. Like, I am who I say I am. I am the shit. I am the best thing since Wi-Fi. Like, when I tell you I was killing, I was killing it, because I had nothing else to do but to do it. And so I started doing bookkeeping, and I was killing it doing bookkeeping. And so then he eventually went back to work, and then our bills were settled, and we ended up saving our house and cars and stuff like that. But you talking about stress? Oh, I've been there. So I kind of learned in that one that I could pretty much do anything. I learned that through that.
Whoa, girl. Y'all, this entrepreneur game, though we're trying to hop into this because y'all think it's sexy. It sounds good, but make sure that you are ready to stomach it. 9 months where you're like, hey, I just want to start my business on the side and I can still get my bags and get my hair done. That's like, no, you need to pay this mortgage.
Pay this whole mortgage with a baby. Because he was, you know, in and out of the hospital with his brain surgery. So I had to take care of my 3-month-old baby. And I took her many times with me to the bookkeeping places, clients, and had her in her little car seat and was working while my husband was at home. Like, plenty of times. She's very business orientated. She's been with us since she was 3 and now she's 8. We've been.
This is our business. This is real. I feel you. My daughter been with me in conferences and everything. So I already know what that looks like. So now that you've got a taste of like, yo, I can do this. He's going back to work. Mm-hmm. What was that journey after?
So I quit. So Kate and Kate Financial was bookkeeping. So when he ended up like getting back better and going back to work, I realized that I hate bookkeeping. Like, I hate it with a passion, but it was what I needed to get me through that transition time. And so I tell every entrepreneur, you have to do what you love to do, but you have to do what you have to do until you can do what you want to do. I was a 24, 25-year-old girl. So to go into these businesses and talk about acquisitions and mergers and project development and operations and back-end solutions, they're like, girl, you still a child. Like, who are you to come into my business to tell me this? But when I worked at a corporation, it was my boss that was backing me up. Bianca's great. Bianca's awesome. Well, when you work for yourself, who is backing you up? And you vouching for you does nothing for my bank account. You're not going to say I'm the worst business coach in the whole world. Like, you should not give me your money. You're not going to say that. And so you need somebody else to endorse you. And so I understood that I needed this bookkeeping business to teach me business, like to teach me how to run a business, how to operate accordingly, how to upsell, how to cross sell, how to do proposals, how to do invoices, because we think because we work for a company and we do everything. You don't do everything. It's just a slow period. It's just a rough time. They laid everybody off. It's just you right now, but you didn't build the shit from the ground. Like, you have your department of what you do. But when I do everything to run this company. Well, when you start to run a company, you figure out you wasn't running shit when you worked at your 9 to 5. You had a major piece, but you ain't built it from the ground. So to build a business from the ground, totally different ballgame, especially on a sustainable foundation, a profitable foundation, an efficient one too, one that runs well, one that makes money, one where you have sales and revenue, the one where these profit margins make sense. It's a totally different ballgame, but I learned that in that bookkeeping business. I learned how to convert them and turn them into 2 months, then 3, then 6, then year long. Like, I learned how to get, you know what I'm saying, 50% of the commission of the business that I brought in, plus, you know, what's in the contract. Like, I learned that, and so I use that. And so I tell people all the time, don't start your first business based on the business that you really want. Like, I really didn't want bookkeeping. I really wanted to do what I did at my corporate job. However, I had to learn it there. But if I would have started all of that on that business, I probably wouldn't be an entrepreneur, because it's too hard. It's not working. You know, they're not buying it. Like, I practiced on a thing that I was good at, but not what I ultimately wanted to do. So I kind of learned that there. But then once I learned it, I pivot. I'm good at, you know, starting, stopping. I'm good at, I don't do that shit no more. This is what I do now. I don't do that. You shit about that last week. We don't sell that over here no more. We
don't have that. No.
It won't be back in stock. We don't do that over here no more. So I'm really clear about that. And a lot of times we don't want to do that, but I'm really good at, you know, letting people know I'm transitioning out. You know, as of June 1st, I no longer do this anymore. You might want to buy this before June 1st, because we don't do that no more. Oh, June 2nd, we don't sell that no more. So I'm really good at letting people know that. So I transitioned out of that, and then I started to do more career development. Then I transitioned out of that. But I always had corporate contracts. When I quit my job, 3 of the big companies that I was working with, they found me on LinkedIn and was like, hey, I need you to do these projects. Like, I know you don't work there no more, but I need you to manage them. And so I started out with government contracts, but they don't pay on time. So we was sinking, because just because you got a contract, they gonna pay before the year's out. but you don't know when it's gonna come because you know it's 12 people on a contract. If they don't turn in their stuff, they're not gonna be like, oh well, Bianca did her part, let me give her her money. Like it has to be complete. And so even though I had government corporate contracts, my cash flow was still very low.
Come on, Journey. Oh, this just makes me so happy. So now we're getting to the space. Okay, cool. I got the corporate contracts. You know, I'm getting in the swing of things with everything that I'm doing. How did you get to where now you could teach people how to create 7 streams of income?
So I don't like the fact when people say like all millionaires have 7 streams of income. And so I don't like when people say that because that's not right. So I kind of just wanted to correct the people. Like, you just need to diversify the business that you already have and make streams within that business. You cannot properly run one business. So how you think you're going to run 7? Like, it doesn't make sense. But I think we as people, we like the way it sounds. Like, girl, I got 5 businesses over there. None of them are making money. And you're tired. And you're in the red. And we see no profit. Like, I think we like it. It make us sound like we like the rich auntie. Like, girl, no, you sound as you sound like you sound like the general physician and not the neurologist. Like, you want to be top dollar. You want to be the expert. When somebody think of whatever you do, you want to be the first person that comes to mind. Well, you doing 12 different things, it's not. And even if my top one, for example, my daughter birthday came up and I wanted a cake, and it was this lady that did cakes and it was so beautiful, and her cake was $400. Well, she ended up having to cancel. So somebody was like, girl, you can give me $400 for a cake. I bake cakes. No, you bake cakes, you own the cleaners and a daycare, and you do hair on the side, and you do taxes. Like, I'm not giving you $400. This ain't what you do. This your side hustle. I'll give you some side hustle money for a cake, but baby, you ain't been to cake school. I'm not giving you $400 for a cake. And so it offended her, and I was like, but this ain't what you do. This what you dabble in. If you was the go-to cake expert like the girl, you can ask for $4. You can't ask for $4 with that. And so I'm just very clear about going deep and not wide. We like to have, I do this, and this, and this. But for me, I am the go-to project manager in my industry, in my field. I charge top dollar. You can't argue me on my price. We can't negotiate. The price is the price. I have receipts to prove that. I got education collateral, receipts collateral, testimony. This my lane. This is what I do. No, I don't do anything else. But I make all my money from this one business. I do invest in a lot of different businesses. I'm a silent investor in a lot of different businesses, but I don't promote it. I don't say that I do it. I gave them their check and they give me my check at the end of the month. And so I think that we think we have to start it, and we like to be in charge. I don't want to be known for nothing but this over here. And so I think that me knowing that, I got clear about, no, like, don't start that. Let's just milk this one business some more. Like, you left some money over there. Do you know you can pitch to this organization? Do you know you can make a digital product with that? Do you know you can speak here? You can teach that. You can do that. Like, we came up with 5, 6 different things, and you only milked it once. And so I'm all about going deep and not wide. And then once you go deep and you milked it, it should run on its own. And then you can start something else. Like this year, me and my husband, we're opening up another business, but I'm not doing a day-to-day. I have enough money to hire a general manager to be able to run it. And so I'm going to go there and I'm going to collect the check too. But I want to be known for this. And so that's why I believe that we should diversify the business that we have. Like, you put so much work into this one, milk this one, get some money from this one. We want to give you some more money in this one. And if you are an expert at what you do, you could get way more money than what it is that you're charging. You're undercharging. You know, you're not overselling it either. You're humble. And I think that we have known to be humble to dim our light. Like, if you good, you good. Like, why me being great at what I do make you feel some type of way? Like, you good too. I'm good too. Why we can't all just be good and get this bag? And so I think that that's why we say we have all of these different businesses, because we're trying to have one up on somebody else. But I'm very clear in saying this my lane. I make multiple 6 figures in this particular lane. We're on track for 7, and this where it's at. And I want my check. And so diversifying it is where you're going to make the most money. And I don't work as many hours. Really probably work maybe 4 hours a day. I don't work a lot of hours. My systems do most of the work. And I know people like, well, you have a team. I've been in business for 8 years. I've only had a team for 2, and I've been making multiple 6 figures for the past 4 years. So You don't need a team. You just need the right system. So you might want to hire a client so she can put your systems in place. But I'm all about diversification.
Come on with the diversification and the go deep. Let's go a little bit deeper on that, because I don't want anybody to miss what you're saying, because they've been hearing 6 figures, 6 streams, 6 streams. That means that it's all coming from, and I'll tell you who checked me on that, and I changed on that day. Gary Vee cussed me out, because you know he liked to cuss, because I told him I had 10 different businesses. I had a this, I had a that, I had a so and so, so, and I felt I was one of them people.
Yeah, you was baby chest out.
What? Yeah. And he was like, "You're doing too much shit." I was like, "Oh, what are you talking? Don't talk to me like that." He was like, "You're doing too much shit. What are you the expert in?" I was like, "Well, in operations and systems." He was like, "Well, then do that." I said, "Oh, so you want me to just do that?"
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah. It's like, and all the other stuff, you can do that. You can do that shit, but you do it like, what sense does that make that you're focused on all these different things? So let's break. So I got checked on it, and I literally, out of 10 businesses that I was running, you know, and I have partnerships with some of those, but out of those 10, I just focused on 2. And one of I don't even talk about, the government contract and stuff. I don't even deal with that, because that's its own beast on its own. But if you know me, I am synonymous with systems. Mm-hmm. If you see Bianca, she's synonymous with project management. If you see my D, he's synonymous with branding and marketing. Like, you should be known for whatever it is. So let's break down. Let's go deeper on the go deep thing. Okay. Let's have let's use an example of someone that owns a bakery. Okay. Or, you know, coaching is your thing. Let's talk about coaches. So
I can do both. So
let's do both.
We go to a bakery, then maybe one stream of income is what you're known for, is maybe just cakes, right? But then we could do cake pops, and then we could do muffins, and then you could throw parties, and then you could do some DIYs, and then you could teach other people who just started baking how to be another baker. You could do corporate catering, corporate contracts. You could do mixers. You could do VIP days. You could do events. You could do a training on how to bake. You do a virtual training on how to bake, and people can sign up for it. You can do travel. You could travel to other people outside in other states, and you could teach those people how to bake. And so those are VIP days. You could do a whole line of digital products to show people how to make cake pops in an hour, how to make the cake pop stay, how to make your signature lemon cake in less than an hour. You could come up with a whole digital product line. Now you can start to go and you can speak to people in culinary school, and you get contract with culinary colleges and schools to show them how to actually bake the cake. And so those type of contracts, those will pay your bills. You get 4 or 5 contracts with culinary schools, and you can teach their kids how to bake and how to start their own baking business. That's your bill money. Everything else, that's your travel money. That's your Bora Bora money. That's your Greece money. That's your Louis bag money. That's your, G-Wagon money. That's your retirement money. That's your IRA money. That's your kids' college money, because you have 4 big contracts that pay all of your bills. That's like 7 streams of income right there. And you're doing what you love to do already, so it kind of just flows. It's kind of a no-brainer. You already got a schedule already. What if you just come to the schools 4 times a month? So you only really work 4 times out the month. Everything else is extra. You can do it when you want to, when you feel like it, because you have 4 major contracts that pay all your bills. So I could give you these little cake pops 3 for $10. Like, I could go and give you a discount on this cake. I could run a special over here. I could give you a discount on these digital products. I am for the culture. So,
is it safe?
Safe. Come back in the room.
Come back. Okay. Okay. Everybody. My edge is still there. I'm still straight out here. Am I good? Y'all good out there? Y'all good? Everybody good? Everybody okay? Y'all don't realize that she just wore y'all down, and that's just on cakes.
Okay.
That's just on baking cakes.
I don't even do cakes. However, me being a consultant, we have digital products, we have speaking engagements, we got VIP days, we have corporate contracts, we have affiliate marketing, we have speaking engagements, and we also have government and corporate procurement. Y'all got all that? Y'all see that was 7. But they're all in there. Look at Chanel. Chanel said, what about clothing apparel? Okay. So what if you have a boutique that sells your main things, right? But then you do styling where you put the looks together for the people in the boutique. What about showing other girls and having a mentorship in the academy to show other girls how to actually start their boutiques? What if you go around to other boutiques that are not doing really well and you teach them how to get their boutique up and running to six figures? What if you start to go and speak at the design schools and speak to the students to show them how they can get their style in order? What about going to corporations and showing people that want to dress for success, but they don't have the time to do it, how to put a whole look together in 10 minutes or less from your boutique? That's 6.
I'm gonna just go ahead and I'm gonna tip out, man. I don't have no time.
Well, yeah, why are you drinking? No,
Look, everybody mind blown. Y'all, are y'all okay? Education.
What about education? That's too broad. And that's another thing. I need to be very niche specific in what you do. We can't help everybody. We need to be very clear. I help coaches and consultants, right, to grow and scale their business. So I'm not helping everybody. Even though I can, I'm very clear. I'm tapping a coach and consultant right on the shoulder. So you need to be very clear when you speak. The deal is in detail. So the more specific you are, the more money you can make and the more help you can get. So be very clear when you speak. Talk right to the person. Line it up. Make it make sense.
Be specific about who you're talking to.
Be like, we don't want to offend anybody. I don't care. I'm not talking to you. Like, I'm talking to her. Like, you right here. You know, if you are good at picking up nuggets and making a happy meal, you could take it and translate it to what makes it work. But I'm very clear on who I'm talking to.
Why is that so important? Because again, people are like, I ask folks, oh, so who's your market? They're like, oh, well, anybody can. No, everybody is not your ideal target market. Why is that so important?
I think it's for me, it's first to brand myself as the expert and for people to actually know who I'm talking to and what I can actually do. I'm in the business of giving people my entire business model. Like, I make money here. And so we do the same thing. So I can give you the same formula. And so that really has that weight and that clout that you need because, you know, people see the transition. People see the type of clients that I have. They're like, oh, I can get that too. Yes, but you need to be specifically kind of talking to those people. So I think it also differentiates you from those person that do exactly what it is you do. People say, well, the market is oversaturated. I think that that's a cop-out. I think that that's excuse for you not to work as hard. I think that, you know, when lazy people talk, like, to a lot of people, if you go to the grocery store, the same ketchup is in the same aisle, like it's on the same shelf. Like, it's not ketchup in the front, ketchup in the back, it's the same aisle. Like, we're competing on the same level and they still make money. And so you kind of want to think about that. Most, like, I live in Chicago, so downtown Chicago, all the high-end brands are on the same street and they all make a bag. So it's not an oversaturated market. It's your marketing isn't good enough. Your target market doesn't know that you're speaking to them. Your niche isn't good enough. Your receipts is not good enough. You know, like, your branding is not there. Like, you're not speaking to anybody. So it's kind of that elephant in the room that most people don't like to talk about. They feel like if they talk to everybody, they might get somebody, but talking to everybody gets you nobody, you know. And so if you speak to me and you keep speaking to me and you keep hitting those pain points to talk to me, I'm going to eventually get it. I might not get it on Monday, but if you size it up and make it look better on Tuesday, I might be like, oh, she is talking to me. That's why you want to have 10 to 15 different pain points to sell that same product. If I was trying to sell aspirin and I was like, dang, my finger hurt. And you're like, girl, I took aspirin for my leg. You think that I'm equating my finger and my leg to the same thing. I'm not. I don't know that aspirin helped the leg. Shit, I need something for my finger. If my head hurt, you be like, girl, you need to take aspirin because, you know, I took aspirin and my back hurt. You think I'm equating back and head. I'm not. I don't know that aspirin cures the back too. I thought it was just something for the head. And so those are kind of those different pain points that you can use to sell the same universal product, but you're just selling it a different way to hit those different pain points. So I could be like, well, damn, my foot do hurt. Let me go ahead and take this aspirin she just told me about. But if you didn't tell me that the aspirin helped the foot, but you kept talking about the hand, make it make sense for us. You think that we supposed to know. We don't know. This your job. You work there. I don't work there. How I'm supposed to know what to do? We don't have that type of common sense, but it's only common to you because that's what you do every day. It's not common sense for me to know that the aspirin does this. I don't work there. You work there. So make it make sense for the consumer. And so I think that's what we do. We think that it's common sense. It wasn't common sense to you when you first got started. You was Googling and researching and paying too. You did not know. So now something that you high and mighty, I suppose just know. You didn't know either. So I think that that's it. We're not into educating. We assume that people should know. But me being a trainer and an educator, I want to make sure you know, because I want my money to end up in my account. So I'm very clear about dotting all my I's and crossing all my T's. I'm very thorough. I need this money to be over there. So I think that.
I hope everybody okay. Y'all got y'all edges still intact. Okay, just making sure everybody good. She done went off now. I tried to ease it into this conversation because I knew she was gonna go off. So I just want y'all to be prepared. So one more thing I want you to talk about is pain points.
Okay.
And the importance of knowing the pain points of your market. Because again, most people, I am 100% a believer, common sense is not common. It is not. Education is common. Training is common. Understanding, common sense is not common. So for people that don't understand the importance of knowing what the pain points are, could you break down how do we figure out the pain points of our market?
Yeah. So I get that question a lot. That's a good question. And so I think that I am really good at asking. I use my social media, I use my email list, and I use my past clients as focus groups. A lot of us don't invest in that research and development stage. Companies pay billions of dollars in research and development before you even know about the product. And I think we miss that stage. And so if I'm thinking of something that I want to create, I'll make a mock-up of it. And then I'll say, hey, I'm thinking about doing a class of this. It's going to talk about boom, boom, boom. Who wants this? If don't nobody say shit, I ain't making it, because that means don't nobody want it. Like, I'm not making anything for something that nobody wants. But a lot of times we like to put all of our time and effort into something, and then we put it out, and then people don't buy it, and then we get mad, and then we get discouraged because you made some shit I didn't ask for. I didn't ask, for this. And so I'm really clear about, hey, I'm doing this. What would you guys think about this? And so first I ask my audience what they want. Even if you don't have an audience, most people are like, well, you have, all these followers, I was asking when I had 100, like, let me survey this 100. I was slack. And when I only had 100, it was easy for me to slide into that DM and say, hey, I'm thinking about making this product. What do you think? Like, you have to ask the people, and then you have to kind of give the people what they want, and you have to kind of do trial and error with it too. Price is very tricky. And so I'm really good about kind of trying things at different prices to see if it will work, because I have a real bag of government contracts, corporate contracts, is a real secure bag. So with my social media and smaller stuff, I have no problem with playing with the price, because that's not how I eat. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not how please be professional with the language. Lady T, I'm going to need you to exit out this, my interview. I can say what I want. So I'm kind of really clear about.
I went ahead and put her out. Don't worry about it.
Angle. So I think first you have to survey the people first, and then you have to be willing to fail. I think that we are not clear on that. You have to be willing for people to be like, no, that's horrible. I don't like it. Like, and be okay with that. Like, well, what don't you like? Is it the color? Is it the price? Is it the lingo? Is it the position? Like, what don't you like? I thought this product was really good and I didn't get any hits. And so I was like, hey, I put this out. I thought it was good. Like, what don't you guys like? They was like, it's too corporate-y for me. I don't understand what you're talking about. Oh, so I need to reposition this lingo. No worries. Came back, resold it, and that day I ended up making like $1,500 off of that one product. It was crickets at first, but I asked what they didn't like. I was speaking to the wrong people. I was speaking the wrong lingo to the right people, right? They don't do what I do. So why am I using that type of energy and that type of lingo with them? I have to make it make sense. So let me reposition. I put it out. So, right? So I think it's about being clear on asking the people who you think are your people what they want. Like, what do you like? What don't you like? How can I make it better? Is this a good price point? I'm selling 10 of these for $59. Like, who want to buy? If people buy it at that $59 and that's 10 people, go to 79. Hey, I can sell them for 79. I got 10. Go to 99. Ain't nobody buying it. Found out 79 is kind of that sweet spot. So kind of go through those trial and error. But I don't trial and error on my guaranteed money. So I want you to kind of do that. What pays my bills, the price is the price. But that's why I have bigger contracts and bigger clients. What don't pay my bills, we can figure it out all day. Because it's just extra, just money. So I'm okay with us figuring it out.
Woo, okay. Edge is still there? Yeah, edge is still intact. All right, Miss Bianca, go ahead. I know that hour went fast, y'all. Bianca, please let the people know what you have coming up, how they can follow you.
So yeah, we have I have a 5K glow up program that actually starts July the 9th, and it's for those that don't make a consistent $5,000 in their business. You make money, you've had some success, but that kind of $5,000 consistent mark you can't really hit yet. And so I want you to sign up for that. If you could message me or send me a message, I'll send you the link for that. But that's kind of the program that we have now, is try to make your 5K in 5 weeks. But it's not for new ones. I'm not teaching. I don't teach new entrepreneurs. I'm not into starting businesses. It takes a whole different mindset and a whole different setup to teach somebody to start a business. You come to me when you've already made some money and you want to make some more money. And so this program would be the program for that. But you can follow me here at Bianca S. Robinson. I'm all in these Instagram streets. And hopefully you follow me. And if you have questions, comments, or concerns, I'm all in my DM. I answer my DM. So yeah.
Awesome. So Dilbert, go to the DM so you can get your question answered. Again, I want to say thank you so much for coming on today. I'm gonna go and take a nap because I need me a mental break. Everybody else, y'all welcome to go and take naps. Make sure that you're following Bianca. Make sure that you're following me at Connie S. Falls. We are here most days, business and BS. The BS went both ways today. We got some business strategies, and we also heard about that BS that comes along with the journey of entrepreneurship. Again, we love y'all, and Bianca, thank you so much for being here today.
No problem. Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.